This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
I'm Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash. We got today's talk, tomorrow's trends, and we got you. That's what's so important.
Yes. So I was talking to Mitch about one of my biggest pet peeves, and it comes with deliveries. And what's driving me nuts lately is I'll get a tracking number, let's say for a delivery. I click on the tracking number, then it takes me to another screen where now I have to download and sign up for a new app in order to track a package that I paid for. It drives me insane.
You got to get Siri to help you out if it's an email, because Siri will do it. It'll pop up and say, "Hey, I noticed this is an order," and you can hit the button, and then it goes into your wallet, and it'll tell, and you can track it that way.
Yeah.
However, you're right. They want you to download a whole other app so you can be able to find it. Then you go in. All right, okay. I really want to know what it is. You go do it, and then it says label has been made and created.
Yes.
I don't care.
Okay, can I tell you that's exactly what happened to me yesterday?
Right?
I finally caved. I'm like, okay, I'll sign up for the darn app. I'll do it. I got in there. It's like, cannot locate package.
Okay,
I'm
right.
like, oh my God. So I went through all of this for them to tell me we cannot locate the package, despite having a tracking number.
I know you made the label because it sent me an email.
Sent you an email.
I don't give a rat's ass that you have created the label. And you know, a lot of times, like if you're ordering from eBay and it might be from somebody's house, whatever, that means they printed it out. And it also tells you how long it takes them to actually box it up and send it off to it. But the companies are becoming more and more popular with that. I got the thing with my the United States Postal Service where it'll let me know every single thing that's coming in my mailbox.
Really?
It's free service. You should get this.
Oh, what is this?
It's right there on your
email.
Yeah, if you ever send something out from the Postal Service, they'll send you a link, and then once you get that link, they will want you to sign up. Only because then every day you'll get a thing saying, all right, here's the letters you're going to get in the mail today.
It's a scan of it.
It's a scan of them, right?
Okay.
And it'll tell you about those packages as well.
All right. Now,
So
see, I like
I bypassed that because
Yeah.
I'm like, well, the Postal Service will let me know if they're using USPS.
Right.
There used to be a time, though, if you got a tracking number, you could just click on it. It would take you directly to whatever service was shipping it, and you could tell, hey, it's going to be here on X, it'll take this number of days, and it'll be X, Y, and Z, and it'll arrive this day. Nowadays, if you click on the tracking number, it takes you to a whole different site, and then it says, well, if you want to track your package, you're going to have to sign up for this service. I'm like, how many services do I have to sign up for? I just want to track the package.
And then on that, in order for their EULA, it means you'll also receive promotional emails and stuff. And
That too.
and which is ironic that they're really wanting email delivery when you're trying to get something physically mailed to you.
That's a great
the
point.
irony of it all.
That's a really good point.
And again, it goes to show you about about we had last week on a cybersecurity guy that was on the show, how important information is to companies today, including your information, and they will find every way to get it. And that person, that company could, and when you do a EULA, they can sell all your information to somebody else that maybe you've been trying. You don't want them to have your information.
Which might
it's out there.
explain why you and I continue to get 100 calls a day from Mitch, Sharon, Genevieve, Miriam, Frank, Thomas about this new low interest loan that they've been offering. I cannot tell you how many times I report and delete spam.
Okay, so I'm going to say this is just right there. These are all just spam calls.
Loan offer.
Really?
Loan offer. Personal
all
loan
loan
offer.
offers and
Nothing with your car's warranty?
nothing.
That used to be. They've got tired of they realized the car warranty thing isn't working anymore, so they're now onto the personal
and they're
loan.
trading like, hey, we noticed you applied for a loan, and then now they're making me. They're like, yeah, I realize your credit's not that good, so we can. I'm like, what are you talking about? Credit's great.
They're playing hardball now.
Well, yeah, in hopes that maybe I'm somebody that has bad credit, and then I'm like, well, if they're going to give me money, even if I have bad credit, and it's all computerized, all AI, it's annoying.
I don't have bad credit.
What are you
That's
talking
what
about?
they want you to call and say,
Yeah,
hey.
that's right.
Exactly, right?
Where'd you
so
get that?
we love to ask questions of the day. That's one of mine. What disturbs you? What's your biggest pet peeve right now? But James, you've got another better question of the day.
And that goes to what's your family's golden rule?
Ah.
All right. I mean, I would tell mine not to answer those type of calls or
Never.
or respond to anything,
Yeah.
right? So, but that'd be a golden rule. So, what's your family's golden rule?
Patience. Patience is my family's
Okay.
golden
I love
rule,
that.
which we don't have a lot of, but we try. Yeah.
Right.
Ours is take responsibility.
That's a good
and
one.
You
Yeah.
know, and with the preface of, you know, when I stress that, it's like, look, we can work it out. You know, if you take responsibility, it's going to make it better for you because it's like, all right, you're already working on the problem or wanting to have restitution if you did something that you weren't supposed to do it, whatever. You're telling me that you want to make that move. I did it. I am going to work it out. And to me, I think once I realized that as a father and I really pushed that, they kind of understand. And I see them. Like, yeah, I did that. I screwed up. And less lying, I think, a lot of times. If they know they can trust you,
That's
that
right.
they're able
That's
to come to you.
huge.
That's the
I
big
think
thing.
that, but
Yeah.
it takes a while to get to
No
Yeah.
that.
matter how bad it is, don't lie.
Yes.
I can
makes it
work it
worse,
out.
right?
I can help you out, but if you lie to me, I can't.
Just
It makes it even worse.
That's
So
great.
don't lie.
Yeah.
And what's even worse than the lie is a cover up.
Yes.
You know what? You can lie, but then
Yes.
if you try to cover up the lie, it's
They cover
almost
each
gets
other.
you. Yeah.
My two cover for each other.
They
a
do,
lot.
okay.
Yeah, they think I don't know. I'm listening like.
But they know.
We're
Yeah.
going to tell you something that I've learned with the 5 kids I have is that the crazier the story,
Yeah.
all right, and the more you talk, the more you're lying.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you and you don't even have to do it if you go, yes, I did it. I'll tell you why. Let
Yeah.
me just figure it out, okay, or whatever. But like, or I don't know.
Right.
And like,
I wasn't there.
Why would you? Why do you think that was? I don't know. I don't know.
It's like the story about the lady we had the other day that got busted and they took her to jail
yeah.
and she had a giant ball of cocaine shoved up her. And she said, I don't know how it got there. Somebody must have put it
Magic.
there. Yeah, magic.
Magically
And,
appeared.
and those people can't help you. I'm like, well, we have to charge you for
Yeah.
it. You know, other than that, I'm like, man, you should know better
good luck
than that.
with that. Let us know what you think. What's your family's golden rule? DailyFlashShow.com is the website. Another golden rule might be knowing what to wear to work. Gen Z workers are ditching the traditional dress to
Are they?
impress first day outfit in favor of casual looks and athleisure wear.
Okay.
Have you noticed this lately?
I actually have a lot.
Jeans, white t-shirts, tank tops, cardigans, thrifted boots. Also okay with Gen Z, the Wall Street Journal reports that young employees across industries are arriving on day one in gym-ready fabrics and relaxed styles rather than blazers and heels. This is reflecting a broader shift toward informality and comfort in hybrid and creative workplaces. One worker said she wanted to feel cute, not traditional or professional, on her first day. The old first day ritual is being replaced by personal style and ease.
Saw a lot of that. Everybody got used to it in COVID because they're staying at home.
Yeah.
But you are how you dress, you know,
That's true.
and even if you don't have the nicest clothes, if you just try to take care of yourself, you take, you shower, you shave, or
Right.
make sure you're doing your hair. It's the small things, and I know it sounds like. They're like, well, you should accept me for who I am. Okay, I will accept you
Yeah.
for who you are.
Right.
Human nature is we judge people,
Of
right?
course.
No
Yeah,
But
matter
I'm not
what.
going to take you seriously.
That's the point.
I won't judge you, but I'm not going to
Let's
take you
be honest.
seriously.
We had a situation recently.
Yes.
A young lady we interviewed who
Yes.
was dressed for radio.
Yes.
Yes.
We
had
get that
to-
a lot.
We had
Yes.
to help adjust her shot because of her top.
Well, it's as if she sort of just woke up and forgot that she had an on-camera interview,
Right,
and so it.
you're
But to her, that
absolutely
she
right.
might have felt comfortable thinking that's of the norm, and it really, bosses need to come out and say there is a dress code. We get
Yeah.
it. You're not going to
Yeah.
be able to wear top of the line clothes. We're not asking that.
Right.
It's just dressing to where your customers, and even if you're not exposed to customers, if you're on the phone, it's a different, just a professional attitude
Different,
because
yeah.
around the people that you're hanging with. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like, it doesn't matter whether you're going to the grocery store or you're catching a flight or you're doing a Zoom interview.
Yeah.
What you wear really dictates how you present yourself. And so if you're
Hardly.
showing up to work in a old tank top that you slept in the night before, and a pair of men's boxer shorts, and that you think that's casual and trendy
Right.
and cute, well, then your employees are probably not going to think you're first in line for a promotion.
And I'm glad you say that because a lot of what people don't realize, if you're just meeting someone, they say, first impressions
Yeah.
are the best impressions. And people assess how much respect they're going to give you based upon how you look at
that's a good one.
And that's down to the judging. You know, we say, I'm not going to judge you. We literally judge everybody, whether you say good and bad. You can't say that you don't judge people. Psychologically, you just do, because it's human nature. It's like somebody you've never met before, you have to figure out, okay, I could be myself, but you know, this person is going to be doing the same thing I'm doing to them.
Couldn't you say that's a kind of a primal instinct in the deep down, you know, part of it all? Because it's like you're always assessing that survive, fight, or flight mode. And as ridiculous as that sounds, you know, assessing who's in front of you is part of it.
Caveman days, all the way back there. Right? All right, we would love to hear your thoughts. Head to our website, dailyflashshow.com. Before we go to break, though, we do have one of those brain flash questions, don't we?
Yes, we do. What was the name of the fictional high school in Greece? They all dressed to impress in that era and on that show.
Absolutely.
We'll have the answer right after this. Welcome back to Daily Flash. Let's see if you got today's brain flash question right. Here is the question. What was the name of the fictional high school in Greece? All right. If you didn't know it, the answer is Rydell High. Rydell High in the movie Grease. Well, Americans are battling long job searches, and they are quickly burning through their savings to stay afloat. So what should you do if you find yourself in the same predicament? Here with more insight is Jacob Zinkila from Business Insider. Jacob, great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
So why do you think in your research and reporting that job searches right now are lasting so long?
Yeah, I mean, it's fairly simple in that businesses aren't hiring nearly as much as they were a few years ago. And there are a lot of factors driving this. One is that economic uncertainty, including policy changes like tariffs, has made some companies hesitant to scale up their workforces. Another explanation is that some businesses did a lot of their hiring a few years ago. During the period, you might remember, some people call it the Great Resignation, when workers were switching jobs at high rates. Companies ramped up hiring, and that surge is one reason hiring levels are comparatively slower now. AI also could be playing a role. While it's uncertain how many businesses are replacing workers with AI, it seems at least clear that some are at least assessing the impact of AI on their businesses and holding off on too much hiring until they have a clearer sense.
I know the financial experts always say have at least 6 months worth of living expenses saved up, and that can be hard for most of us. How are savings getting depleted so fast?
Yeah, obviously, when someone gets laid off, what they receive in terms of severance pay and their unemployment benefits can vary considerably depending on their employer and the state they live in. So not everyone can rely on these things to cover their expenses. So people have to turn to their savings during their job searches. And as anyone knows, when you don't have income coming in, your savings can get depleted really quickly. And this is always the case, but especially given some of the strong inflation of recent years that have pushed up prices of things like food and housing.
Yeah, and it's tough if you're faced with having to tap into that 401k. It just seems like once you start down that path, it's hard to get back. What are the biggest challenges that you see in today's labor market and in your reporting?
Yeah, I think a big challenge is that people are growing frustrated. Some people think that they're applying to tons of jobs. Some people feel like there's a lack of a human connection, that are the resumes being reviewed by a human, are they just sending them into the void? People feel like, there's certain strategies like networking that, people want to try, but it doesn't always play out, doesn't always work out. So basically there's a lot of competition and a lot of demand and not necessarily a very high supply of roles right now. And that's just creating a lot of headaches and frustration for people. Yeah,
a lot of unknowns. And then when you're applying through some of these job websites, it's this magical algorithm that you've got to hit just right, it seems, in order just to have somebody see your resume. What role do you think the Federal Reserve plays here when it comes to jobs and interest rates? I know it's all kind of an interesting mesh.
Yeah, so I would say rising interest rates in recent years have, made borrowing more expensive for businesses, which can slow investment in hiring. There is some debate among economists about how much interest rate changes directly impact companies' hiring decisions. Whereas, if you're looking to buy a home, like higher rates will lead to higher mortgage rates generally, which is definitely going to make buying a home more expensive. It's a little bit less straightforward with the job market, but it definitely is a factor at play.
Yeah, it's interesting how you see how the interest rate plays into so many different facets in our life. What advice do you have for struggling job seekers right now?
Yeah, one of my top pieces of advice is to talk to whoever you can, whether it be friends, family, or people at companies of interest. Ask about open roles and stay in touch because those connections can make a difference. However, building new connections can take a lot of work and patience. I've had job seekers tell me they hear back from about 5% of the people they reach out to on LinkedIn. So if you contact a lot of people and have little luck, that's normal, but it can be still worthwhile. And I guess lastly, I just say not to be afraid to ask for help. Job searching can be really isolating. And I think many of us would prefer just to kind of quietly find a job on our own and not really have to ask for much advice or support from others. But in today's market, going at it alone can be pretty tough, both mentally and also in terms of actually finding a job.
Yeah, it's so difficult. That's a great point, Jacob, because I think so many of us, our identity is definitely tied to what we do for work and our jobs. Yeah. So it does make things somewhat difficult. Jacob, great to chat with you. Good insight here. We're going to share this interview on our website at dailyflashshow.com/FMI. Jacob, thanks once again, and Business Insiders, where you can find more information.
Thank you there, Jackson. Some trending news story. I'm actually kind of happy about this because the Garden State, New Jersey, flipping the script. You'll understand why that makes sense. And ordering public schools to bring back cursive writing. Yes. Cursive. That's all starting next fall. And one of his final acts as governor, Phil Murphy, actually signed a new law requiring students in 3rd through 5th grades to actually learn cursive. He believes the move will help students with the basic skills like opening a bank account and signing checks later in life. It could happen. Cursive was generally kicked to the curb in 2010 when the outlandish Common Core standards were forced into districts. New Jersey is one of the number of states that are ditching Common Core and bringing back common sense, some say, and cursive back to their curriculum. It's something I appreciate. You guys know I appreciate handwriting altogether.
You have such beautiful handwriting.
And you know why I do. I've told you this story, is that my 4th grade teacher told me I had horrible handwriting and it hurt my feeling really bad, and I started working on it all the time. However, if it's fast notes, I'll write in cursive. Yeah. And I'm glad I know it, but I'm still, as you can see here with my notes, I'm all capital letters and that sort of thing. I'm kind of happy to see it coming back.
Me too. I'm a combination of cursive and print, so I kind of write half and half. But when I went back home, my mom had saved a lot of stuff from my childhood years. Cool. And I looked at some of my handwriting. I'm like, oh my God, I had beautiful handwriting in school. Because, they really made a point of taking that handwriting class and really sticking with it. And, it was more of an art form.
It really is. I think you get to a point where you think, nobody cares, but they do. They do care, indeed. Yeah. More Flash after this. We're talking about fixing the healthcare system when we return. Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English along with Andrea Jackson. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you received a handwritten thank you note, or maybe actually you just wrote one yourself? It's probably been a while, hasn't it? Well, studies show that expressing gratitude in writing doesn't just make someone feel appreciated, it also can boost your mental well-being and even actually help your career. Our next guest, Erica Girard-Dibona, has a new book out. It's entitled A Letter is Better, The Art of Thank You. And she joins us now from Los Angeles. Hello there, Erica, and welcome to Daily Flash.
Thank you so much. How do you?
All right, here's the thing. It is, it's not done in schools anymore. They don't teach them how to write cursive. They don't teach any more of this. But there is something about getting a handwritten note. What are you saying that some of these benefits are of actually receiving those notes that are handwritten?
I think what you said, the fact that it's not being done anymore adds to its rareness. Yeah. And the fact that it's unusual to receive something in the mail to begin with, let alone something that's been written by hand, or as I do it, typed on a typewriter or on a computer with a cool font. It's anti-AI, really. It's bringing us back to old school, and it has more impact, I believe.
I believe so too. Handwriting, anybody that knows me, is a big deal in my life. When I was 4th grade, my teacher told me I had bad handwriting, so I always worked on it. So I really tried my handwriting, and it's something I appreciate a lot. Now, I know not everybody does it, but it's interesting. Your thoughts on the fact, like when you get a note, you can get somebody's personality, I feel, out of a handwritten note more than you would read just of a text, say a computer, email, or in some cases, I guess, a typed out letter. Is that true or not?
I think it's very interesting to get something that's been handwritten. There's a lot of people that do analysis of handwriting, and I think there's a computer program now, an app that you can even write your name in, and it'll analyze your handwriting for you and tell you your personality. But like I just gave a copy of my book to Jane Fonda, and she wrote me back a card, and I was so thrilled. I never even talked to her before, and I could see her loopy handwriting and her name in a big Jane with an XO, and that was thrilling for me. That was much better than a text or an email ever would have been. And I'll be keeping that card.
Yes, I was about to say suitable for framing, whereas an email you can't really frame, doesn't get the same impact. I want to talk a little bit about how important it is, because this day and age, a lot of people going to job interviews and even doing job searching, or even after a great dinner. Let's talk about how important it is to actually maybe do that handwriting thank you note, or just even a note.
I think that any form of appreciation is important, that you can write after a great dinner. You can get the name of the general manager or the owner and write to him or her or them. You can also get the name of your waiter and write about them. Yeah. And it's the next time you go in, trust me, they'll remember you more than the person who's standing in line behind you. I also do it for dentists and for doctors. They put it in their file, and when I come back, they'll thank me for it. And I know I'm the only patient that's going home after an appointment to thank them. And think of how much we all need a little bit of grace once in a while.
I agree with you. You say that there is a 3-paragraph format that crafts a well-written thank you note. And I think 3 paragraphs, boy, where am I going to go? But is this an easy thing to do?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
And I crafted that idea because people get paralyzed and they don't even know where to start. So my paragraphs are me, you, and us.
Okay.
I started with the word when. So that's my trigger word. It's what makes me think of when I received the gift, when I had the interview with you, when the door opened and the flowers arrived. It puts me in that moment. I also don't put the gift away. I don't eat it. I don't wear it. I don't hide it until I've written that note, because it keeps me fresh thinking about it and remembering the senses that I had when I had that feeling. Then the second paragraph is me, you, you. And you is about my reaction to you. And it's where it's what I call the secret sauce, or it's a little bit of love about you. You are really the gift. And that's why this letter is important. It's not just what you did for me. It's also what I saw in our interaction and how I appreciated that you appreciate handwriting and that you were so enthusiastic about welcoming me to the show. And it's all about you and my reaction to you. And then the third paragraph is us, where I tie us together and take us into the future and say, I hope that we can do this again together, or that I'm going to write you a thank you and hope that you write me one back, or whatever you want to do to move it forward. That's the S paragraph. And then I always save the words thank you for the end.
Yes.
I don't put it at the beginning because that blows the lead.
You're right on that. Let's say you're not comfortable with your handwriting. Should that stop you?
No, I think if you don't like your handwriting, and a lot of us have handwriting, unlike you, handwriting that's diminished over the years, or that we never were really very good at. And as you said, some kids aren't even learning how to write anymore with cursive. So put it on the computer. I've gotten great letters from people that they use a very big font, they underline it, they put XOXO, and it still feels very personal. And it's an easy to read document. And that I think is encouraging to people. We're not Emily Post anymore. As you said, handwriting is really unusual anymore. And so it doesn't have to be only handwritten.
Very, very good points here. And if you want to find out more info, check out her book, A Letter is Better. We'll have this link on our website as well.
This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hey everybody, I'm Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk.
Before we jump into our stations across the nation here, we're talking about let me tell you something that you did, Prime. Talking about Amazon Prime.
Design.
I used to love B movies. I used to love horrible, bad movies, right?
Okay.
I can't do them anymore because the only reason I'm watching is like just make fun of them, right?
Yeah.
About how bad they are. Now they want to throw commercials in it, and so you're watching it and you go, oh my God, it's a horrible movie, and then all of a sudden a commercial goes, this movie's not worth me getting on the other side of whatever this 8 minutes worth of commercials you're about to give me.
And let me guess, have you've got the Prime membership, I'm sure.
And I do have Prime membership.
And they still roll the commercials.
Yeah.
What is with that?
So I can't watch my horrible, badly produced movies at all because they've just loaded them down.
Can I tell you that's the only thing that's free right now on Prime? Everything else is locked up. Drives me nuts.
Shame on you.
Shame on you.
Shame. And let's go to James.
You got me thinking of a horrible movie. But it was great. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Okay, so if you watched it and then it stopped and there's 6 minutes where the commercials right in the middle of it, you're like, all right, I had enough.
Yeah.
Critters was a terrible movie.
Oh, there's a whole
it.
list. That actually would be a good question today, like the worst movie of all time.
We'll get on it. We'll get on it. But
okay.
With that being said, you're watching this on 219 stations across the country and across the world, American Forces Network, and guess what?
What?
If you want to find out where we are in your neck of the woods, just go to our website, dailyflashshow.com, and click on where to watch. Now, on that list is a special place because it talks about peaches. The peaches that you eat, don't go there. NS, was that not safe for work?
Peach, Peach City.
WBUD TV out of Atlanta, Georgia. Hot Atlanta. Now, Hot Atlanta love its peaches because 70 streets have the name Peachtree.
Now, talk about an Amazon nightmare.
You get lost easily. Where you at? I'm on Peachtree. All right, make a left on Peachtree.
Yeah.
There's Peachtree Street, Road, Avenue, and then there's some Peachtree streets that might be across town. You're right.
So we get lost.
Can you imagine?
I'm somewhere.
My package didn't arrive. Well, can you go check and see if it's on another Peachtree Street?
Right.
Thanks. I'll be back tomorrow.
70,
I can't say it's
crazy.
bad. I love Atlanta. I think it's a gorgeous city. My wife grew up there, and
did you really?
She went to Georgia Tech.
She went to Georgia Tech as well, and I love it. I think it's a great, and you can live just outside of it, and you get the mountains. There's so much around there, and it's in the south, and you can fly anywhere because it's the greatest airport around.
Yeah.
It's a really cool place to be able to go check out. If you've never been there, you definitely should do that for sure. You know, some people, they want to make sure that that they have their place in history, right? So we have a little thing called the Guinness Book of World Records.
We sure do.
Check out this story. There's a skateboarder, and he's already actually traveled from coast to coast, literally the United States, in 39 days, all in an attempt to break his own Guinness World Record. His name's Chad Caruso, and he made the journey of more than 3,000 miles. He started off in Venice Beach, California, and wound up in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, wow.
72 miles a day on a skateboard, y'all. That's something.
Dude.
He previously skated from Venice Beach to Virginia Beach in 57 days, 6 hours and 56 minutes back in 2023. He said his latest trip was about breaking his own record and celebrating 10 years of sobriety. That's the point I love to hear, because he says his trip has raised money for an organization called Natural High. And that encourages kids to be active, stay away from drugs and alcohol in the school. And you know, you see people like, why you do it? Why'd you jump the Grand Canyon? And most of the time it's because it was there.
Or my dad was Evel Knievel.
But I love what Tad's doing here. It's like, you know, I love doing this. How can I help society?
And I love that part of it. I mean, that's a long skate.
That is a lot. That's one tired leg. Does he switch? Does he alternate?
How many boards did he go through? He had to go through a whole bunch.
Or at least the wheels and the trucks and everything. I'm sure he had a support team to have to go by afterwards. You know, my thing with skateboard, there's a lot of vibration because you're on the rocks. But also, the skateboards today were not the skateboards we had in the 70s. Remember that little yellow, it was called the Freeformer. I swear the thing had been about that big. That was my skateboard. I promise you that thing was about that big. And I would sit on it because I didn't know how to skate. Anyway, I wish I had video of that. We have more Flash, and we'll leave you with that image, but we'll return after this. Hey, I was at CES 2026, and if you don't know, that is where you get to see the newest and coolest electronics, some really incredible tech. And one of the coolest discoveries is this ASUS computer. It's the ROG Flow Z13. ASUS recently collaborated with Kojima, and it has taken gaming and computing to a whole new, fun level. Here's what I learned.
This is the ROG Flow Z13 KJP edition. So This is our we call it the world's most powerful gaming tablet, right? It's got a detachable keyboard, right? It's got a SD card slot, replaceable storage, anything that you could want for really portable, on-the-go work and play. But the kind of star of the show this year is that we've created a special edition of it in collaboration with Kojima Productions, which is one of the biggest names in gaming today.
So if you're a gamer, you know who Kojima is.
Yes, if you think of like the most famous movie directors you can think of, like Hideo Kojima is that for gamers. He is an absolute visionary in the space, and so fans of his are going to flock to this in droves.
What is his influence on this machine? What can we actually see?
So he has this very distinct visual style, and he works with an art director named Yoji Shinkawa on all of his projects, who also has a very distinct style as well. And so when you look at what we've done with this device, the color scheme is all new.
Let's show folks.
All these kind of cool, futuristic, clean lines, the use of carbon fiber here, that's all new for this device. If you flip up this hinge, you'll see a lot of these other influences down here. All of this is kind of based on their design, the kind of the mascot of their production company, and the video games that they've created also use a lot of that aesthetic style as well. It's extremely recognizable.
Okay, ROG, we need to explain this because gamers, of course, know what it is, but maybe those that might be a little bit newer to it.
Sure.
Explain what ROG is all about.
ROG is all about providing the highest performance gaming experiences to people, not only in the PC space. We primarily work in the PC gaming space, but also for people playing on console and Xbox at home and things like that as well.
All right, and so gamers are going to love this, but you had mentioned about creators. This is like on the go. You can take this pretty much anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And also to kind of feels like a little bit of a tablet feel as well.
It is. That's what's so cool about it is you can use it kind of like this with the keyboard attached, like a laptop if you want to. It's got this great big touchpad on it. You're going to be very familiar using that. But, you can also detach the touchpad, have it stand on its own, and, grab a controller and play that way. So this is using one of AMD's new Strix Halo chips. What it means is that the graphics and the CPU are all on a single chip. Traditionally, that's not what we do with a lot of gaming devices. They have a separate dedicated chip for graphics. But on this, because it's all on one chip, but still extremely powerful, you get actually roughly the same performance as you would get on some of those dedicated chips, but with better battery life and power efficiency because you only have to drive that one chip. And then the other cool thing is that it shares the RAM, the memory, with the rest of the system. So we actually put 128 gigs of RAM in this, which is a huge amount. But what you can do is that you can split that up however much you want between the system and the graphics and say, I want to do really high resolution gaming, or maybe I want to work with local language models and do AI work because I'm at programming AI stuff. I want to dedicate a ton of memory to that. You can do all that with this machine. Again, versatility and being able to kind of tune things how you want them for the task at hand.
Pretty cool, right? Well, the ROG Flow Z13 is pretty special because it's one of the only devices that is simultaneously a tablet, a full Windows gaming PC, a 2-in-1 laptop, and expandable to desktop-level GPU power. Let's not forget the ROG Flow Z13 is powerful for a small device, has a high refresh rate touchscreen, and it is very portable. What's cool is that it also includes Microsoft Super Resolution. That's an AI-powered image upscaling feature that enhances, even enlarges low-resolution images by up to 8 times. Yes, 8 times. That reduces blur and pixelation. Now, you can find out more information on our website at dailyflashshow.com/FMI. Okay, imagine that your kid finishing off the core academics all in just 2 hours, all powered by AI. Well, joining us now to explain how is Mackenzie Price. She's co-founder of Alpha Schools. She's got more details on this, how it actually could be a reality. Mackenzie, tell us first, what is Alpha School and how is a day there actually different from, say, a traditional school?
Thank you for having me. Alpha School is redefining what parents expect out of their kids' school experience, and we're really bringing the future of education into the world now. The way that we use AI in our technology is we personalize lessons for kids to meet them at the exact level and pace that is right for them. As a result, during a typical regular school day where kids are all together, they can still be working on material that matches where they are. Kids learn twice as fast in only 2 hours, and that's where the magic is unlocked, because the rest of the school day we spend teaching life skills workshops and doing group projects, getting kids outside in the community, doing physical activities, starting businesses. All of the things that are going to help them be successful, all while delivering a stellar academic experience in a much shorter period of time.
Okay, well, a lot of parents, they hear AI and they picture kids just alone on screens, but what is the reality of that?
What we are finding is that artificial intelligence is enabling us to raise human intelligence, because our kids are getting so much more time to interact with both each other and, most importantly, their teachers. The teachers in our schools don't have to spend their time teaching academics to a class of 25 kids that are at wildly different levels. Instead, our teachers spend all of their energy focusing on motivating and connecting with students, helping them find their whys. So as a result, this is an in-person full-day school where kids are getting to interact, which is really the key thing that we need to develop in our young people.
All right, what's the one thing right now you want parents watching to understand about all this?
I think that AI in education feels like it's something that could be scary. And if done wrong, it could be. However, when done right, this is a game changer in education. At our schools, kids love school. In fact, we survey our students, would you rather go to school or go on vacation? Have you ever imagined that? Well, we get about half of our students who say, put me in school all the time because it's so much fun. We don't use chatbots at our schools. Chatbots in education are cheap bots. But artificial intelligence, when done the right way, is absolutely incredible for students and for the adults who dedicate their lives to working with them.
All right, folks want more information. Where can they go?
They can go to alpha.school. We've had so much interest around the country that we've got 50 different schools popping up throughout there. And if they're into social media and they want to get a glimpse of what this school world looks like, they can go to Future of Education on Instagram or Facebook, wherever they get their social media.
Fantastic. We're going to have this link and this interview on our website at dailyflashshow.com/FMI.
If you love unique home decor, a big summer shopping event is back. Lifestyle expert Valerie Greenberg has a preview of the Mackenzie Childs Barn Sale.
Hi, I'm lifestyle expert Valerie Greenberg with details for some unique summer savings that can help you upgrade your space. If there's one shopping event that home decor lovers look forward to every year, it's the Mackenzie Childs Barn Sale. This year's event runs through July 16th through the 20th, features 5 days of exclusive savings, limited time finds, and beautifully crafted pieces that can bring color and personality to any home. Shoppers can choose from more than 2,000 handpicked items online, as well as at the Mackenzie Childs store locations in Aurora and Soho, New York. Plus, Loyalty Rewards members receive exclusive early access starting July 15th. From hand-painted ceramics and the brand's iconic enamelware to seasonal decor and collectible favorites, the barn sale is a chance to discover the craftsmanship and whimsy that have made Mackenzie Childs a favorite for decades. This year also marks the first time the viral Mocha Check and Emerald Check fan favorite collections will be included in the barn sale, alongside signature pieces like the Courtly Check collection and the iconic 2-quart tea kettle. Whether it's the first Mackenzie Childs purchase or the next treasure in a growing collection, every day of the barn sale brings new arrivals, exceptional savings, and the thrill of discovering something special. I'm lifestyle expert Valerie Greenberg. For more information about the Mackenzie Childs Barn Sale, visit mackenziechilds.com.
Dry, irritated eyes may be a sign of dry eye. Joining us is ophthalmologist Dr. Ashley Brissett with simple ways to find relief.
Yeah, so dry eye disease is a very common condition. It actually affects over 35 million Americans every year. And there are so many things that can contribute to dry eye. We know that aging and hormonal changes can play a factor. That's why this is especially common in women over the age of 50. Environmental conditions as well. Sometimes it has to do with the humidity in the air, pollution, which can contribute, and even screen time, which all of us are on our screens all day now. And so all of these things contribute to the eyes feeling dry, irritated, sensitive, and can even cause blurry vision. And Dry Eye Awareness Month is actually this July. So this is why I'm partnering with the Refresh brand to talk about some solutions to help treat some of these symptoms. Dry eye, we often think is being more common during the winter months when the air is much more cool and there's less humidity, but it can occur at any time during the year. Even with our recent heat wave that we've had here on the East Coast, that can sometimes trap pollutants in the air and can make people's eyes feel more dry and more irritated. So really it can affect us year-round. I mean, there's so many great treatment options that are available, and I do recommend seeing your eye doctor to see what treatment option could be right for you. But what I recommend to all of my patients is to start with things like artificial tears. One of my favorite recommendations is for the Refresh Optiv Mega 3, the preservative-free multi-dose. And why I really love this is because it's preservative-free, it's very gentle on the surface, especially for someone who has more sensitive and dry eyes. And the multi-dose bottle is very easy to use. So I tell all of my patients, you want to have this on hand because these symptoms can occur at any time. And so being able to treat is the very effective, very safe solution. And what's so wonderful about these drops is some people can get even more than 10 hours of relief from the drops. So again, just a very effective, easy option that's over the counter. You don't need a prescription for it. So a great resource is refresheyedrops.com. That's where I direct my patients for more information about dry eye, and then even to be able to purchase these drops, and they can be found at many retailers online like Amazon, Walmart, so very easy to access.
KSA Entertainment is dedicated to uplifting the communities we serve. Through KSA Cares, we're bringing awareness to the causes that matter most, supporting those who work tirelessly to make a difference. From honoring veterans to championing environmental responsibility, KSA Cares is committed to inspiring positive change. At KSA Entertainment, we're here for the stories that bring us closer. Innovate with us. We can make a difference.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Daily Flash. Mitch English along with Andrea Jackson.
In the tense 72 hours before D-Day, the fate of the world hangs in the balance. This is today's must-watch movie, Pressure.
Tiger was a training op, dress rehearsal for D-Day. They walked right into it. One mistake. Just that one mistake.
Ike, you have to stop doing this to yourself. What's done is done. Group Captain Dr. James Stagg, here at the express request of General Eisenhower.
Do we have a date yet for the invasion zone?
D-Day is in 61 hours from now. This is the largest seaborne invasion in history. Fate of the war, thousands of lives hinge on this. I need a forecast. Churchill tells me you're the best meteorologist in the country.
Get me the latest readings from every single base within 2,000 miles of Normandy. The invasion's confirmed for Monday. Monday.
Oh, they won't like this.
We are faced with a succession of 2 aggressive storms.
Are you absolutely certain?
D-Day will be calm and sunny.
I couldn't disagree with that more.
If D-Day is cancelled, we will lose this war.
The final decision on the timing of D-Day will be mine, and mine alone.
If you invade tomorrow, they're going to be washed away.
300,000 men with families that they may never see again. Why should I trust you?
We must face the facts! The facts, however frightening they may be!
If we delay,
the enemy will be ready and waiting. They'll slaughter every single last one of us.
The storms that I'm talking about are real, and the wrath of nature is real.
You wonder about the name. Mainly, it's based around a meteorologist. They had to get a weather report over to the Allied forces. That's what this is about. And Brendan Fraser playing, of course, Eisenhower.
So good. That does it for us. Be good, everybody.
Bye-bye, y'all.